I feel like this is, I don't know, just going through this felt like a big metaphor in a way. And there's something you're enjoying that you're going through, and then as it goes on, it just hits all this weird and stupid stuff that either makes no sense or it's just really controversial and does a lot of things nobody likes. And that kind of describes a lot of Spider-Man since the 90s. I mean, there was like good stuff, don't get me wrong, but like between maximum clonage stuff and One More Day and that whole thing with like Peter losing his body to Doc Ock for a bit, I mean, like, yeah, there was some interesting stuff in there, but like, why would you do that for like this your 700th issue? And not a more recent things, like, geez, like how many times is this guy gonna hit rock bottom? Like, and then there's the Paul guy. It's all just a huge mess. No one wants to read it anymore. Anyways, yeah. I guess this would be another rant video of sorts. If that introduction with my feelings on Spider-Man didn't already kind of clue you in. But it's mainly about just how disappointing a lot of things tend to be. At least like in terms of like stories you enjoy, when they take some weird turns or do some dumb stuff that you're not really feeling. No, wait for this. Absolutely trolling. Now, I'm not one to usually go off into like a loud, angry rant about things very often. Honestly, it gets hard to like keep that sort of energy up a lot for me. But I guess I'm just like, I'm real tired of where we are with entertainment right now, at least as far as like the West is concerned. It's like it's a whole other thing, and like when it comes to anime, Japanese media that I enjoy, because like for the most part that's still mostly fine. I mean, yeah, there's still a lot of trash anime I don't even bother watching, but like if there's good stuff, I'm likely going to watch it at some point, you know. I feel like with a lot of Western stuff, it's just kind of a toss-up if it's just going to go to complete and utter shit and just be a complete waste of time. And you can never really tell, because like sometimes it'd be like really good stuff, real compelling, and then suddenly you get like a like a Game of Thrones season 8 type situation, and it's like, what the fuck was that? I don't know, just at a certain point it's like, do I even want to take a chance on some of these things knowing what they're gonna do? Because mind you, like, there's a lot of stuff that I've enjoyed, like entertainment wise. Like, I'm not like completely 100% weeb all the way, forget all the American stuff. Like, I've enjoyed my fair share of cartoons growing up, regardless of like the various channels. I've enjoyed some live action shows here and there as well. Like, it's like, as long as it's good, like some decent storytelling, some compelling characters that I can actually like. It doesn't matter what country it's from, but like after some point it's like, what are we doing over here? Like, there's so many stories that are been coming out in like the past decade that just feel like bland or lame or just annoying. If it's not garbage, it's probably just beating you over the head with the message that they're trying to push, and it's like, can you at least try to, I don't know, make something entertaining that people actually want to watch? Because like, this constant push for, you need to actively endorse all these things that this thing is talking about, otherwise you're a bad person, it gets really annoying after a while. Like, no one wants to bother being constantly lectured when they're just trying to enjoy some entertainment after a long day. It feels like a lot of people in Hollywood don't seem to understand that, and I don't get why they don't seem to get the memo until they are literally losing billions of dollars in the process of doing this over and over. Like, it shouldn't have to take that much money for you to realize, hey, maybe I shouldn't constantly beat everyone over the head with how they need to be more diverse and inclusive, especially when it comes to like groups of people that were already doing that without being annoying as hell. Just a thought. It's like, I get it. There's some unsavory people out there in the world. You probably don't like hearing from them very much, but like, it's not like the universe revolves around those kind of people. You know, you can always just ignore them, go somewhere else, not have to deal with them. You could probably just brush off whatever they're saying. Like, if some old lady was like saying some slurs at me, you think I'm just gonna go into like some angry tirade and start like getting all pissy and going on a rant and like shoving all this stuff about Black history in everyone's face? No, it would. I'd probably just laugh it off and leave, because like, it's an old lady. What the fuck's she gonna do? Like, even if she be racist as hell, there's not much she can do to me. If she tries to hurt me, I'm probably gonna defend myself, but like, otherwise it's like, petty insults like that don't mean shit. It's whatever. Honestly, I kind of wonder, like, part of it is just people being overly sensitive or something. They don't know how to, like, tell a good story without feeling like they have to push this kind of stuff in there where it don't belong. Like sometimes if you're making entertainment, like, one of the main end goals is to like make stuff that people like and want to come back to, and if you're kind of forgoing that for the sake of constantly pushing for a message of some kind, you're probably missing like the whole point of what entertainment is supposed to be. Bigotry and stuff be annoying, but like, you're not gonna be getting more allies than that by like constantly forcing that on everyone all the time to the point where it just starts annoying everybody instead of having them want to help with that sort of problem. Kind of like a exposure thing. Like, example, I remember when I first got into JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, right, and I was really enjoying it, and I thought about like showing to my brother and getting him interested, but here's the thing I realized from experience with trying to expose him to things that I really like. If I push too hard for him to get into these sort of things, it's just going to annoy him and he's not going to want to watch it. So I don't bug him about it. So I just left him alone when I told him about it the first time, and later on his friends got him into JoJo instead. Now he actually enjoys it. Look, it's really not that hard. Sometimes you just gotta like chill out, kind of do your thing, and if people are interested in what you're doing, then they'll come. If you're doing it well in terms of like storytelling, you're gonna get an audience. Like, even if it's niche, you're probably still gonna get like a solid number of people dedicated to that sort of thing. A lot of fandoms work that way. But if you're constantly trying to beat everyone over the head with this intense progressive type deal, then yeah, you're gonna get a lot of detractors, clearly. I don't know why no one seems to get the message of this in Hollywood or whatever, but like, y'all be really, really annoying. Like, we don't need to constantly be told all the time by people far off in California or whatever that we need to be doing this or that in these exact ways, otherwise we're bad people. Because, like, a lot of people ain't even trying to, like, do all that messed up stuff. They're just trying to live their dang lives. They're trying to do normal shit. It's almost like you forget what the everyday person is going through, only thinking about the most radicalized extreme ends on the internet and act like nothing else exists. Like, what do you think the mass majority of people are seeing when they see the rest of y'all acting the fools online and acting all crazy and such on social media? Look freaking nuts. Look absolutely crazy, like you're losing your dang mind over what, how inclusive a work of fiction is. Like, if you really cared so much about having that sort of representation, you probably would have, like, made something yourself, right? Instead of having to, like, push for it in various channels that you kind of just slip into the industry somehow and, like, try to change things that already exist with existing brands and fandoms and such, and make all these alterations that a lot of people just don't agree with, and then you wonder why they start failing financially. It's like, the people that like that stuff, they didn't come to be lectured to about social issues. They came to be entertained by stuff they enjoyed. It's like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole or something. Like, you can't just force that kind of stuff onto people 24/7 and expect them to just be okay with it. I don't know. Feels like every time I try to point this out to certain groups online, they just make all these negative assumptions about me, like I have to be bigoted in some way in order to not want to push for these sort of ideas on everyone all the time and everything, and never give anyone a break when it comes to stuff like entertainment of all things. Like, dude, not every story gotta be about being progressive. Not every story gotta be about fighting oppression. It's like, you can do those sort of things well in storytelling, mind you. Some of my favorite stories do that stuff, but they aren't beating everyone over the head with it and telling them that they're evil for not always pushing for that sort of thing every day of their lives. It's like, I genuinely wonder sometimes, like, some of these people just don't understand human nature. Like, there's more to us than just fighting oppression. You gotta enjoy some parts of life too, you know. Like, can you imagine spending every single second, every moment of your life fighting for something? Like, yeah, there's a time and place for certain things, but, like, you know, the old saying, like, all work, no play makes Jack a dull boy. Yeah, that does kind of apply even when it comes to, like, serious things. It's like, if you're just, like, constantly pushing for your ideals and everything all the time, it gets kind of annoying after a while. Like, learn to have some fun and enjoy stuff for once. Enjoy things for what they are instead of having to force everything to be the way you want it to be. And if you really don't like the way something else is, you don't have to force yourself into it. You could just, you know, leave. Go somewhere else and enjoy other things that do stuff you like. It's not like I have to watch every anime under the sun in order to enjoy myself. I watch what I like. If something doesn't interest me, I probably won't be watching it all the way through. Mind you, I say that as a One Piece fan. Like, I know some people kind of drop off early on because like they're not vibing with it immediately, but like I enjoyed that stuff from the start. That's why I watch all the way through. You know, I've asked to do like perspective, you know? You know, a lot of these people in the entertainment industry kind of just forgot what it's like to be the average everyday person, where you can't just constantly be this sort of person that's always showing off how progressive they are and how they're against like every form of bigotry, every waking moment. Like, you don't gotta be like that to be a decent human being. At least I don't feel like that has to be the case. It's like, for me, like, I grew up watching a variety of different things that had a lot of different kinds of characters in it. Like, because of that, I want to make stories of my own, with my own characters that go on their own adventures and stuff. And there would be like some degree of diversity to the cast, because a lot of stuff I enjoyed had some diversity to it as well. I remember back in the day watching all these cartoons and shows and such that I enjoyed. Like, some characters were white, some were black, some were Asian, some were animals, some were aliens and stuff. Some of my favorite video games when I was a kid had next to no humans in them even. It's like representation wasn't really too much of a concern when I'm playing as like Spyro the Dragon or something, you know, like, I don't know. A lot of people get too caught up in like how we need to be better than our ancestors or something, I don't know. People get really weird about it. Maybe one day we'll manage to like work past all this nonsense and we'll be back to like just being able to work together and enjoy each other's company instead of like antagonizing each other constantly over what politics you follow. Like, that's the universal end all be all to everything about us socially as a species or something. Like, it gets to a point where it just starts to feel a bit ridiculous, you know? I shouldn't have to be like a radical leftist to be accepted by other fans of a video game, or just being able to like enjoy some artwork or something. So can you imagine like having to follow specific ideologies just to be able to enjoy a story? And it doesn't sound very freeing to me. So people should be free to follow what they believe in, as long as it's not infringing on the freedoms of others. At least that's how I feel. And yeah, there'd be like some moral standards to be expected along with that, in terms of like how would you carry yourself around in life, the kind of actions you partake in. Like, ultimately, I do feel like most people should have the right to pursue their dreams, so to speak. Do the things they want to do with their lives. And I feel like any extreme of the political spectrum would kind of just be a hindrance to that, really. Like, yeah, you could say that there'd be a lot of issues with far-right politics, probably leading to some weird fascist stuff, but like, At the same time, I'm not really vibing with the opposite extreme with the left either. It seems like they're kind of pushing for their own extreme ends politically, and I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I like having food. I know that's probably like a weird turn for some people, but like I've had conversations with people that went in like weird directions, like wanting some sort of moneyless, stateless, classless society, wanting to push for all these social type programs and things, but like I guess I just find it funny that when I finally decided to Google those 3 words and put it together, and I just end up getting the Wikipedia article for communism, and I'm kind of just wondering if maybe they really want communism but weren't saying it as communism because it sounds like a buzzword after a certain point. A lot of people just assume the worst whenever you hear it, which, considering how it went for a lot of countries, yeah, I can see why. That's why, yeah, I'd rather still be able to eat. The stuff you learn in history when it comes to these things, man, it's like, it gets dark. But, yeah. And again, of course, it's like, I guess what I'm basically trying to say is, this shit is getting ridiculous. We shouldn't be having, like, mess up all this stuff, all these stories with all these characters just for the sake of a message. Like, at the very least, like, stick to your own original characters on that front, and, like, let the stuff that most people enjoy be what it is instead of having to force into something that it's not. Let people enjoy things. Goddamn. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much all I have to say on that for now. Just, I don't know. I want to be able to enjoy things from both the East and the West again without getting into like this weird political fight type thing, because like it just gets ridiculous after a while, especially with the way people be acting online. And then they just start dragging that out into the real world, and then it just gets really freaking messy. Not a fun time. So, yeah. But yeah, if you're gonna debate in the comments or whatever, at least try to keep it civil or something. I don't know. Just I'm getting my thoughts out there. It just feels like there should be common sense, but it's not for some reason. I don't get people. Anyways, later. And yes, I'm aware that the footage is totally clashing with how serious of a topic this is.